Hi, welcome back. Sorry that I have to get 2 videos in a row of me having an honest talk about this kind of stuff. So, just like the title of the video, I feel like I'm the only fat fur with a brain. And the reason why I feel like that, right? Excuse my stuttering. Again, I'm not really too used to doing this. I know I've been doing this for like quite a while, but I'm still kind of adjusting. And the reason why I feel like that is because I have been in this space to genuinely feel like I'm the only one with a brain. Now, what makes me think I'm the only one with a brain? Well, it's simple. I'm very respectful, very responsible. I also tend to take other people's thoughts into account, and then, if necessary, I would challenge them with my own. I'm also not, I'm gonna just say down bad. I'm not like super down bad openly, right? I don't favor anyone, right? I don't make anyone different. I don't make anyone special. I'm always openly accessible, right? I don't treat you like you're not someone worth talking to. I treat everyone equally worth talking to. And that's when I feel like I'm the only one with a brain, right? Because I don't understand the creators in the space. Genuinely, I don't. I thought I did before, but what I recently seen, I'll tell you a bit later, I just don't. I really don't. I genuinely feel like I'm back at square one. So what got me thinking like this is the fact of the matter. I feel like I'm the only one that just has that mindset where I can do my thing and not worry about nothing. But then I have encountered people that will make a big deal of my thing. So, for example, I would say this random friend request I got. I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, allow me to accept it. This profile seems strange, right? But I'll accept it anyway. It seemed like an actual profile. Normally, if I don't see a bio or anything like that, there's a small chance I may or may not accept it because, you know, I don't know what, like, it's more of like a thing with me because I know it's like people that like try to be weird or whatever. And I believe I have mentioned before that I just have these people that just don't like me. And it's kind of like, I probably shouldn't be letting them scare me, but whatever, right? So when I'm sitting here waiting for this guy, I haven't seen this guy for like a week. And then right when I'm in the heavy R, this man pulls up. Instead of requesting off me before I even got to the heavy R. And I let him in. I was waiting a few minutes in the Tanaba world. But he didn't join, so I went to the heavy R. Then he joins there. He comes to me on the rooftop. And guess what the first answer I got? Seriously. See, I don't understand how when I just got into a world, the first thing I get is this. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. This entire thing that you got going on here is disgusting. And I'm like, we're back at this again. We're back at this again. Like, all right. So I have a talk with him. He tells me GG, probably because the other guy was like, I guess like frustrating him or whatever. He's one of those people. He gets into a debate, but he doesn't keep his emotions in check, right? But I keep it short to him. It really wasn't that long because the other guy interrupted. I let him know, like, first of all, what you're seeing here is still a work of art by somebody, right? Right? It's still a work of art. It is still a character, and it's just a design. You are reaching for a design. And he says the same thing everyone else, well, wants to believe in their own head because they're all, because they're all down bad, right? They're all freaky. Freaky 24/7. I should be saying that. They want to be freaky 24/7 where I'm not, right? And he's sitting there like, oh, you know, it's a fetish thing. I'm like, brother, no. That's not what all my stuff is about. You don't know who I am. You just met me, right? And then he brings up something I never even said in the conversation. Well, this is like, because I mentioned to him, like, you know, Fatfur is originally supposed to be body positivity, right? He said, there's nothing positive about this gaining. I'm like, who said it's about gaining weight, brother? I never mentioned anything about gaining weight. So mind you, I was lagging during this whole debate, and he concluded like, all right, bro, GG, you got it. And then he went to the other guy because the other guy was saying something. And the dude was just sitting there, like, kind of terrorizing the dude. So I was thinking about kicking him, but then the other guy was like, I kid you not, the other guy was like, the N-word is just a word. And I'm like, okay, well, no, I'm gonna let that go down. Because what the fuck? Are you serious? So, during that time, apparently it was like this random ass, like, excuse my language, I'm sorry. There was this random child in the instance. I think it was a child, I don't know. They sounded like they should not be there. And I couldn't process what to do about that because I didn't know how old they were, right? Because, you know, all VR chat is like 13 plus. And my, I'm gonna say quote unquote friend was in there, right? And then he was complaining about it, but I was too busy dealing with the debater, right? So this is the time frame. While I'm debating this guy, the child was there, and my one friend was there. Well, quote unquote friend. I'll elaborate in a moment. In the midst of this, the dude says, like, okay, this is fetishistic. I'm like, it's only a fetish thing if you make it a fetish thing, right? Because realistically, there's nothing explicit being shown. No matter how anyone want to spin this, there is nothing explicit being shown. So that quote unquote friend left. I finished the debate. He started dealing with the other guy. But then the other guy and me noticed, like, I was listening to this child, and I was like, hey, I don't think you're supposed to be here, which is what I would normally tell someone that sounds like they're too young. You're not supposed to be on this game. You should not be doing this, that, and the third, right? And I don't really elaborate too much because obviously it's a child. I just told them, like, hey, you shouldn't be here. And the one dude was just thinking about, like, vote kicking them. Like, I'll just do this. And I just banned them. Because obviously, you know, it's not my kid, and I don't think they're capable of knowing not to be there. So after that, I find out that this, I'm not going to call him a quote-unquote friend no more. This friend of another friend, because this dude doesn't join off me unless my other friend is there. He doesn't really talk to me unless my other friend's there. He only joined off me to go see my other friend too. I found out this man left my server. I showed this to my friend. I'm like, yo, what's going on here? All right. Well, I didn't say what's going on. I just said that your man's left. So then my friend wanted to go get the answer for me. And then what happens was crazy. So I realized this man is just like most of the entirety of the internet that I just don't like entirely, right? I don't like the internet like that, right? So this man is so high def in belief that Fatfurs is just a fetish thing entirely. And he found the world that we was in fetish-like. Now, the world I was in the heavy R buffet. And there's things in there that you can turn off, right? But there's also things in there that are there that weren't turned on. Now, let's be real. That world was not as crazy as the world that I talked about in a previous, one of my previous videos of VR chats revoking. Like, you know what I'm saying? It is not as crazy. It could look way weirder, but it was not. But I will still sit here and admit, like, it's at the end of the day, it's just art. It's someone's art and creativity in a form. So realistically, that's not even a problem either. Next, when I found out this dude did that for that reason, oh yeah, I was frustrated because, like, why? Does this man not know that I banned this child after? Of course he doesn't. Was he too busy implying something? Just like how most of these fools do. They imply, right? They don't try to talk or get to know if the person's on this type of timing. They just assume what they think they know. So what happens next is, I'll fast forward. My friend starts showing me discussion between him and the other guy, right? And I'm sitting there thinking, like, what is this man problem? So eventually the dude joins the instance. He hears me huffing and puffing, right? And then, like, I hear him talking about something. Oh, is he mad right now? And I'm just like, I didn't say nothing. So I'm sitting there waiting because he starts apologizing. So then me, being me, because I don't just take any apology. I need a very specific one. Like, I need to know that you acknowledge what you're apologizing for. So I sat there and told him, what are you apologizing for? And then he's like, yeah, I can't do this right now. I'm done. And then he just like leaves. And then I'm sitting there quiet because I'm like, what is he scared of me for? I'm not a threat to you. I'm not a threat to nobody. I am completely harmless. So what are you scared of me for? Genuinely. I just noticed the world audio was on. Hopefully that's not a problem. But I was sitting there wondering, what are you scared of me for, right? And then he was like, my friend couldn't even tell me. But because it was so confusing and it was so strange. So, of course, this man that I was talking about the whole time, the person that decided to leave my server or whatever, he's also one of those Fatfurs that believe that everything a Fatfur does is just fetish related. And I should have anticipated this. This is one of the moments where I said, I'm a guy that noticed things and I don't do anything about it. So, should I have expected this? Yes. I should have expected this. I should have expected something like this. But, of course, I didn't choose to care because I'm a very naive person and I like to be nice, right? I like to be nice. I like to give opportunity. I try not to think that not everyone is on some timing. But I got to remember that these people do not have the same leeway for me as I do for them. But I don't want to sit here and go on some wild strike chase on who I think is a good or a bad person. You know what I mean? I just want to just do my thing and chill. I shouldn't need to be sitting here in the back of my head assuming who's going to be my next enemy. But it's literally becoming that every time. So here comes the next part that's about to get a little tricky. And this person I've mentioned before, he's a bigger creator, so I don't think I'm really hurting anything by mentioning his name, right? IronGut. Now, why would I be mentioning him? Personally, I don't know what his intentions are. When I read something, I read in between the lines. I read so deep. Like, I take what someone says to a sincerity, and I'm very careful on how I mention or present something to a person, right? I feel like I need to switch off VR for this part so I can properly read to you what I'm about to get into, right? So it's very important that you pay attention on this part right here and why I feel like I thought like, okay, this is complicated. I feel like I thought the space is genuinely 100% decent and cool, full of creators that are willing to understand each other and maybe help each other. But when it came to a situation where one person was like giving an interesting critique and then he felt as though it was complaining. So let's get into that, shall we? So this is a public Discord. I don't think I'm hurting anything by showing this, but this right here, I'm gonna just give you guys a long haul so you know I'm not going crazy, right? So, Callie and IronGut are the two people that you're going to pay attention to. So, Callie is talking about the Fatfur paradise that got recently taken down. Well, I guess not recently. This was like what, a month ago? No, I guess it still is technically recent. So, this man, IronGut, decided to fix up the world for Lars. Very nice of him. Callie comes to the cut saying, I don't know why, but Lars world kind of sucks now. Video player's dead. Literally, why? Most sound is gone. Pics are gone. Avatars are gone. World are gone. Whole ass world fell off. Not even worth hosting in low key. Okay. Sounds rude. That sounds a little mean. Right? But the rest, okay, this is fine. He said, no key, add back the video player, input URL in some of the arcade machines, and I'll be happy. Actually, no, everyone will be happy because the world is eerily quiet. Like, there's low-key people who want to host instances in the world, but they're not going to host with a dead video player. Now, Lars says, games, photos, avatars, art are gone intentionally. Yeah, because we don't know the real reason why that world got taken down. Even though I have a faint suspicion, but, whatever, right? Callie, I guess we're going to focus more on Callie, right? I don't care about the blobs. They can be gone for all I care. I just want the video player back. Blobs will clearly slow my PC down. They're too heavy, no pun intended. He says, yes, I can turn them off, but no use. They basically always stay off. At least before you could get numbed by them and shit, but they have no use now. They're just there to look like an eyesore. The buttons have no use anymore because the world got nerfed hard. Replying to this guy up here. Nobody going cuz, and he's about to say it again, but he narrows it down pretty much. It's a private. Could remove blobs and it'd be perfect for public use. 2. Vid player is dead. One of the biggest reasons it was active. 3. Avatars are gone, which is bad because this world had most all of them. Right? So now he narrowed down his criticism again. Because he was pretty much stating before his issues, and now he narrowed down the main issues. See, and someone reacted saying this, or in the heart, whatever, right? And then he says, see, we got to use our brains. The community has to link up and get the issues fixed. Lars says, I think that was an issue with the screen space GUI. Kelly says, me and the homies hate the new Paradise Park. So, like, you can see that he's a little, he's kind of like reaching a little bit here, right? But, you know, he's expressing his, you know, genuine passionate feelings about the world that he likes. So I think you can, like, see through this. Kelly says, yeah, you fucked it up. Good thing I didn't have the text. One dude says, dang, be nice, bro. Violence is not the answer. Slash citizen signs. Which, I will admit, yeah, Callie is sounding a bit like... I can say he's not just being mean, right? It's clear that he just likes the Paradise Park. He loves everything about it. So, of course, he's gonna talk like this. He said, I am nice, LOL. This is just me being kind and understanding. You fucked up the overlay. What do you want me to do? Then Lars, for some reason, out of nowhere, I don't know why. Actually, no, I should know why. This man feels like he's being attacked by everybody. But you tried to screw with me before. Callie said, also putting in bold, middle screen in red sucked. And then Kelly said, yeah, and you still dragged it. I feel like I'm putting it at the bottom, and a smaller font size would work better for casual users, because troll YouTubers don't come back after they did their thing. I talked with Aspexil and Ratgrave before. They told me they didn't plan on doing any Fatfur vids anymore, because the whole hype train is over. Now, it's just wannabe trolls on Insta that still come and troll, and I'm assuming I shouldn't, that the people who come to these places have an IQ of above 60, figure out how to block a nuisance. This guy brings us suggestions. Make the world public. I have trouble finding it, and the only place via heavy R. Add avatars back, check the full list, and see all the pages. Add some images. The game's back, and the world feels really eerie and empty without them, to be honest. But seriously, dude, thanks for adding the world back in the first place. So, if you're wondering about what they keep saying, making the world public, they're keeping it a private world. I'll elaborate why that, to me, that sounds strange. But okay, I'll elaborate in a minute. Kelly says, fix the video player. And Lars says, I'm already done dealing with you. I have you blocked for a reason. And then Kelly says, bro, oh my lord, I'm just reporting the issues your world has. Forward to IronGut so he doesn't have to read all that. Lars plus this guy saying, 1, being public only caused it to be deleted in the first place. Come on, bro. Seriously, what kind of mindset is this? But anyway, having it private makes it to be able to be up longer without letting trolls find it. 2, I already deleted the list on my end, as I won't be making any Fatfur content on my account anymore unless IronGut wants to upload it for me on his alt account. 3, I'd rather not break Gumro's and Booth sellers' rules, redistributing their works, as these are paid asset I'd rather not share. Crazy coming from this man where he made like the fast snag and all that has a whole bunch of assets from other creators that I bet he did not get permission for, but okay, bro. I want to move to normal furry stuff when it's done publicly. I haven't figured out a way to start to get known yet. I might have to make new furry avatars and make a furry hangout world, maybe. I'm still like a little dumbfounded that this man, I don't know what he's seen Fatfurs as then. I just never felt like he had the heart of one. If he felt like it was something that you could just easily slip on and slip off, like it was supposed to be a costume, you know what I'm saying? Because I think people miss the point of what a Fatfur is a lot, at least in my eyes. Kala says, just make an avatar base that everyone will use, like the Nova Beast. Also, I listed all my Fatfur avatars as well, so I don't get another suspension. Scared of Big Brother and Big Sister VR chat, I see. Also, why is the world published by Public Avatars 18, which is one of IronGut's alts. Callie said it's IronGut. Lars says it's alt account. Callie said stupid. Hashtag swag. So, IronGut, and then comes out the cut, right? This is the thing that is making me feel like, alright, now you're probably wondering, I don't understand. I mean, we've seen what Callie has been, you're right, but there's something down here that got me. But let's read IronGut's message first. Okay, first of all, stop all the damn complaining. You're getting a warn strike for all of this, which I think is crazy that he's getting a strike for just mentioning something that he's, of course, passionate about, but go on. 2, this sort of complaining attitude is why Lars gave up on things in the first place, because they put a lot of work into a thing. That's not the reason, because Lars always ignored them, but okay. Well, at least when I talked to him, he always ignored them and didn't really care. Got trolls. Trolls will unfortunately exist. So sorry to say. And then a lot of the folks he made it for complained and stuff. The reason why they complained was because he added all those stuff in the world that they were afraid of him gonna get taken down for, which he did. And it ruined all the joy of making it. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. If you're a creator, make something for your own reasons and your own liking. You probably shouldn't be doing it for other people, because then it would not feel like your creation. Like my whole Enlightened Rift story. I love that to a high T, right? And I have specific plans for it. If someone starts complaining to me about my story, bro, do not expect me to change so much for you. Maybe the small details like, okay, maybe how to write a character scene or write a setting. Yeah, I will do that. But the moment you start telling me to change an entire character design, I'm not listening to you. I'm gonna continue to say, I know this is because I'm feeling it too right the heck now. I don't know why he's feeling this. I believe Callie and the other guy was the only one that was talking. But he only went after Callie for this instance. I pestered Lars to send me the Paradise World project so I could upload it for everyone again. Well, I guess I expect the heat then. And it's been a pain to get the project into a working order with how much stuff is in it. And these complainings is making me almost regret doing it. Bro. So this is where I'm sitting here thinking, like, I'm pretty sure you're doing this out of the kindness of your heart for Lars. Especially when you asked him for it, because you're trying to get it back up for everyone else. But I don't see why you're so surprised, or at least you're going to get upset when you're getting pestered about it. Isn't that like a normal internet thing? Aren't you going to get pestered? Then he says 3, the world is private for a reason. And then he gives A, B, and C answers. A, if it were public, it wouldn't immediately be public. It would have to go through community labs or approval process. And again, who knows if they're gonna approve it or not. And then B, which, by the way, they're kind of right about this. I don't know how community labs work. I just know that you can put in community labs and then you get approved somehow. I thought it was based like how many people enter the world, but I guess I'm wrong. B, trolls will find it, come back, and boom, there we go. Right back to the beginning. Problems that led him to shutting down in the first place. If trolls are the reason why he stopped working on his world, I'm sorry, brother. You're not cut out for this. That's just me, though, because you're gonna get people that are just like gonna hate you, right, or not like you just cause, and you gotta power through that to make your mark. Just don't stoop to these people level. That's what you gotta not do. And then C, it's private and available in the Buffet via portal as an intentional to avoid being taken down by VRChat AI mods that have been deleting freaking anything and everything. And I'm sitting here like, looking at this part, I'm like, okay. You see how you're reading these messages, like, okay, he's just being very helpful to Lars, which doesn't sound like a problem, right? I'm pretty sure no one has an issue with that. Now, here comes the next part. As a video player, dude, I don't know what was in there in the first place. I don't know what was in there your first... What? I don't know what was in there in the first place you were so damn worried about. Especially when Buffett's movie room video player has all the stuff I possibly found and put in there. Okay, strange. How did we go from talking about Lars's world to yours? But alright, brother. And then next he says, and this is the part that you might be like really confused by, and there's a reason why I noticed it. Maybe tell me if I'm reaching, right? Similar for avatars and portals, the buffet is the hub for all of the stuff. Having it in the paradise is just going to be redundant because it's literally going to be the same damn list being pulled from. Just browse the buffet avatars and worlds. They literally have every last thing the paradise ever had in it. I specifically made sure of that when Laura stopped updating the paradise in the first place. Now, you're probably still wondering, what's the issue here? Well, if we read between the lines and understand what this man is basically saying... let me switch back to me. Hold on. So, if we read between the lines and understand everything he's pretty much saying, this man is practically just sitting here saying, what's the point in all this when you have his world? Okay. That's cool. Right? I have no issue with that. Here's an example of why I'm feeling like it's so weird. So imagine I'm the strongest kaiju in fiction right ever, right? But then I choose to outshine my friends. And then I'm just always like, oh, why do you need this person when I'm right here? When, like, okay, we get it. You get it. You know, you're the main guy. But like, what about, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why aren't we opening our eyes for these other people right here? But then you make it look like, what's the point in all this when I'm right here? I find that so, like, I'm gonna say strange. I find it very strange because me personally, if I was a bigger creator, I would try to at least make sure that the creators I have around me are at least seen or appreciated more for their work as well. That's at least something I would feel like is it should be a given, especially when you're in the same space, in the same genre. It shouldn't just solely be, well, what's the point in all that when you have this right here? Is that wrong of me to think? It can't be wrong of me to think. So that's why I feel like I'm the only Fatfur with a brain. Because genuinely, no, it's crazy, right? Recently, IronGut gave me access to like the his like avatar placer in the world, so I can like post my avatar IDs in there. And I didn't think much of it. I thought it was very cool. I was surprised he found even STMFidos. I was like, wow, that's cool, right? And kind of seeing that. I mean, I guess I'll still post my avatars there, since, you know, I guess like he already got his big platform or whatever. But I still plan to work on my world. I still plan to make my stuff. I plan to make the Buddha Mansion as my own Fatfur world, or well, it can be just a normal world if you want. Or my avatar world's gonna get an update to feel like more like my Enlightened Rifts world. So I'm still gonna do all that regardless. I know he wants to be the central hub of like all that stuff, but see, I still got my own projects and things I want to show and express to people, and not just that. There's so much more to a creator than just, you know, about fat stuff. But hey, that's kind of what I wanted to share. I don't know how anyone else would feel about it. Me personally, I just think that if you're a creator, make sure that you have a motive for your means, okay? Make sure to have a motive for your means, because you can't do everything alone. Sometimes you need to depend on others. But make sure that the person that you're depending on isn't just having you for an extra resource. You know what I'm saying? Just an extra addition. You don't want to be on a different level as the person that you're associating with. Right? You want to be at least parallel to the person that you're working with. Almost. Basically what I'm trying to say is, you don't want to be down here while the... I can't see my full hands on screen. You don't want to be down here while the other person's all the way up here. Right? Right? There should be at least some, like, respect there. In some form. Maybe I'm overcomplicating it. But, yeah, that's all I wanted to share. Tell me what you guys think. Did I read in between the lines too much? Do you personally agree that this, for some reason, every Fatfur is just like, or at least the ones that I've encountered or may have seen, actually might be decent, and I'm just tripping. Because honestly, bruh, I have not found no one else like me. I mean, yeah, I have my friends, but I think they just like, they don't fully agree with me on the level that I see myself on, but they're very supportive of me, and I think that's the best part about it, right? That my friends support me, but I don't think they have the confidence to sit or be on the level that I see when it comes to things like this, which is crazy because I can't wait to talk about it one story. You guys have a good one. Bye-bye.